Ladies and gentlemen, I take no pleasure and I take no happiness in bringing this up. This is, if true, a horrendous thing that took place that Biden was a part of. I'm not going to get into the specifics, okay, but he has been accused of some really horrible things. And if he were, you better believe if he were a Republican at this point right now, the Democratic establishment, media, would have converged already, but they have a double standard on everything. So they don't really have a value system. What they have is a standard of outrage, or they have different levels of outrage. The lowest level being when they engage in the transgressions that they politicize. So I know I'm speaking in roundabout terms. I don't want to get into exactly what took place with Biden. There's a great article from Reason Magazine. You can go to Reason Magazine. You can go to Reason Magazine, and there's also The Hill. The Hill had an interview. The Intercept had an article too, and The Hill had an interview today. So it's an exclusive, and so yeah, I mean, you can go and watch The Hill TV. Just go on YouTube, The Hill, and it's their series they have, Rising. It's a Rising exclusive, and the allegations against Biden are there. And the person who's has her story, she tells her story there. So I'm not going to get into it, other than nobody really, I mean, you have to really look for coverage. You have to really try to find coverage. You have to find coverage for this. And the question is why? Why, when it's a Democrat, you can go through a list of Democrats. We don't even need to. But you can go through a list of Democrats. And it's just unbelievable, the overt double standard. Like, they don't care at all. So just go to The Hill on YouTube, and you will learn everything pertaining to the latest allegations. But my question is, at what point do people understand that this, unfortunately, is a gigantic charade? I know that people, and if you want to support my voice long term, my Patreon is below, but if you want to support my voice during this live stream, I know you could do, I know that there are a lot of things, there are a lot of different ways that you could spend your money nowadays. If you choose to support my voice, I am greatly appreciated. I am humbled and greatly appreciative. But at what point, ladies and gentlemen, do people realize this is a charade? Now, they have zero intention. And when I say zero intention, they have absolutely zero intention of Bernie Sanders being nominee. And it doesn't matter really even what happens with Biden. They don't care. Clinton is actually running a pretty amazing campaign when you think about it. She's actually campaigning through Biden. She's actually campaigning through Biden without actually campaigning. It's pretty unbelievable. It's pretty unbelievable what is taking place. This is the deal. This is what's taking place. Okay? They never meant to have an honest primary. I say this every day. They had 30 people show up who had no chance of becoming president, from Bill de Blasio to Elizabeth Warren, who, by the way, failed her DNA test, and the left didn't really call that out at all. That was okay. She was still running. Bernie Sanders became a media creation. He now is the king of social media, which accounts to nothing because Biden basically has zero social media presence. Anytime Biden wants to, I did a segment on H.A. Goodman's other channel, so check it out. The top 7 Biden moments. So check out H.A. Goodman's other channel. But I told you this, I told everybody this 3 years ago. There is no Democratic primary. It doesn't exist. It does not exist. The DNC and the Democratic Party they're a political entity run by a very illegal form of graft. You have media, corrupt intelligence officials, donors that just happen to give, at one point, $156 million to 85 donors gave $156 million, okay, to the Clinton Foundation, okay, just miraculously, and met with Madam Secretary. But if you look, this is interesting too, NPR. Clinton campaign had additional signed agreement with DNC in 2015. So politically, I believe they quote Politico. They do. What exactly did that? This is NPR. NPR quoted me in 2015, ladies and gentlemen, calling the election. In 2015, I said Clinton could not win. She would lose in swing states. The article will be below. Exactly. Bernie was Biden's Pied Piper. Exactly. Hello, Cole. Cole Wilson. Hello. Thank you for always watching. Thank you, Cole. NPR. Clinton campaign had additional signed agreement with DNC in 2015. So Hillary Clinton's going to be nominee again in 2020. I'm the only person on the planet who called this in 2017. It's now 2020. People are taking this seriously. Now, Biden is a horrendous candidate for many reasons, including we don't know if this is true or not. We have no way of knowing if it's true or not, but it's yet another reason, yet another issue Biden faces. An allegation that if he were a Democrat, you better believe that every single person would be converging and judging and condemning Biden. But because he's a Democrat, suddenly the outrage is nowhere to be found, at least in the Democratic Party. But Clinton campaign had additional signed agreements with the DNC in 2015. NPR, this is an article written November 3rd, 2017. I'm going to read you this. What exactly did the Democratic National Committee and Hillary Clinton's presidential campaign agree to in 2015 before any votes had been cast in the Democratic primary? The question has roiled Democratic politics since Thursday morning when Politico published an excerpt of Donna Brazil's upcoming book about the 2016 presidential race. Brazil took over the DNC as interim chair following Debbie Wasserman Schultz's sudden resignation during the Democratic National Convention. She resigned in disgrace, by the way, because of the DNC emails. They showed that Bernie Sanders was cheated. You would never know from Bernie Sanders because he didn't have the courage or the chutzpah or the integrity or the backbone to say that, to acknowledge publicly and to state publicly he was cheated. It's like this entire 4 years, we've been haunted by Bernie being cheated, and he could have saved American politics 4 years of Trump, Russia, and all of this by saying, well, the Russians didn't cheat me. I was cheated by Debbie Wasserman and the Democrats. And a dossier? Are you kidding me? He knew that that was complete nonsense. I don't accept, oh, well, he didn't know. It could have been true. Yeah, right. Clapper and Brennan, and they all use a dossier purchased by Clinton. Really? And then they say that Russia wants Bernie and Jill Stein and Tulsi Gabbard as a Russian operative, according to Clinton. Really? That's really taking it to the 1%, Bernie. The one thing you could say about me and my voice is that I am 100% like, I don't care what people think of me. So that's why it drove them like completely all over the place when I was on the left. There are all these hilarious theories of me. Oh, well, the mask, he took the mask off and he was really a Trump supporter. He was trying to funnel Bernie supporters into Trump. It's like, no. President Trump is the president Bernie Sanders wishes he could be. You remove Medicare for all from the equation that Democrats don't want. Democrats will never implement Medicare for all ever. It doesn't even matter. Well, if Bernie voters decided never to vote Democrat, then maybe they would implement Medicare for all. But see, Bernie voters are 90% Democrat first, then Bernie voter second. But here, Brazil took over the DNC. Once she was at the party's helm, Brazil wrote that she discovered an agreement that, quote, specified that in exchange for raising money and investing in the DNC, Hillary would control the party's finances, strategy, and all the money raised. Her campaign had the right of refusal of who would be the party communications director, and it would make final decisions on all other staff. Okay. Agent Pepsi! Why are so many Democrats I don't know. I don't know. I don't know the answer to that one. I wish I could answer that one. So, if you look today, just today, ladies and gentlemen, pro-Biden group hires former aide to Hillary Clinton. CNN. Do you want to know what his biggest super PAC, who his biggest super PAC hired today? The super PAC supporting Joe Biden's presidential candidacy has hired a former aide to Hillary Clinton, who served as a spokesperson for Hillary Clinton's 2016 presidential bid. That is just coincidence, isn't it? It's just a coincidence, ladies and gentlemen. Maybe it correlates to the NPR article, which talks about the Politico article, where they had a secret agreement, the DNC and Clinton's campaign, and before even votes were cast in 2015. Gee, that's funny. That's really funny. Why would that, you think maybe that correlates? So Biden, just the other day, Biden names Clinton veteran as new campaign chairman. Biden names Clinton veteran, okay, who was the top official in Clinton's 2016 campaign, and was later the Clinton's choice as co-chair of the Democratic Party's special commission that overhauled the 2020 nominating process. This is the Philadelphia Inquirer. Not only will Clinton run, ladies and gentlemen, it's going to be seamless. It's going to be the most seamless, smooth media transition. I don't know how it's going to happen, but it'll be the biggest political call of all time. I know that is annoying to some people, but it's true. I got to bring it up. J-Man! I'm in New York. Scary situation, man. God bless you. J-Man. God bless you. Our thoughts and prayers and wishes are with you. And God bless you. J-Man! So, let's continue. Brazil took over the DNC. This is NPR. Brazil took over the DNC as interim chair following Debbie Wasserman Schultz's sudden resignation during the Democratic National Convention. Once she was at the party's helm, Brazil wrote that she discovered an agreement that specified that in exchange for raising money and investing in the DNC, Hillary would control the party's finances, strategy, and all the money raised. Her campaign had the right of refusal of who would be the party's communications director, and it would make the final decision on all other staff. Okay. The agreement has been seized on by everyone from President Trump to Massachusetts Senator Elizabeth Warren as proof that the DNC rigged the 2016 primary for Clinton. Okay, the DNC and former Clinton staffers pushed back on Brazil's claim, but never outright denied it. In a letter to DNC members, Chairman Tom Perez noted that the party reached joint fundraising agreements with both Clinton and Bernie Sanders. Yeah, right. The joint fundraising agreements were the same for each campaign. No, they weren't. Except for the treasurer. No, they weren't at all. That's not true. There was a Politico article that Clinton got, 99% of all the money for down-ticket Democrats and other Democratic committees in different states. Then let's look at the Politico article. Let's see. So Tom Perez said, oh, well, it's not true. Let's look at this right here. You could just go and look. Politico. Clinton fundraising leaves little for state parties. May 2nd, 2016. This is a great article. In the days before Hillary Clinton launched an unprecedented big money fundraising vehicle with state parties last summer, she vowed to, quote, rebuild our party from the ground up. But less than 1% of the $61 million raised by that effort has stayed in the state party's coffers, according to Politico analysis. So there you go. The venture, the Hillary Victory Fund, is a so-called fundraising committee comprised of Clinton's presidential campaign, the Democratic National Committee, and 32 state party committees. How is a super PAC? This is obviously a campaign finance violation. How are 32 state party committees part of a super PAC? The setup allows Clinton to solicit checks of $350,000 or more from her super rich supporters at extravagant fundraisers. The Victory Fund transferred $3.8 million to the state parties, but almost all of that money, $3.3 million or 88%, was quickly transferred to the DNC, usually within a day or two, by the Clinton staffers who control the committee. So it gets to Clinton's campaign anyway. Don't you think, ladies and gentlemen? By the way, they already have a new foundation up and running. The Onward Together Foundation. So this is not rocket science. Ladies and gentlemen. So this is the biggest story that's not, what's going on nowadays. This is the biggest story. It's the biggest story that nobody's talking about. This is also the issue. The issue is that they are never going to allow Bernie Sanders to win. What they will do is they will kind of allow Bernie only to funnel all the votes back into the Democratic Party. Kurt Leonard, Biden's new campaign strategy. You're supposed to don't vote for me. Exactly. Kurt Leonard. Exactly. That's pretty much what his campaign strategy is. Biden's campaign strategy is the following. The campaign strategy is the following. simply exist so that Bernie Sanders can't become nominee. Then when Bernie drops out for whatever reason, because he's basically done, the only reason if we didn't have everything going on, he would have dropped out already. So it's pretty simple. Clinton campaigns through other people. She doesn't campaign normally. This year, she's like, look, you know what? People are going to come to me. I'm not going to beg anyone to vote for me up until they beg me to join the primary. When this subsides, when everything subsides, people get back to work, hopefully in early April, then you're going to be faced with Democrats are going to be faced with the prospect that they're either going to have Biden, because it doesn't matter what Biden, it doesn't matter what kind of collapse happens in terms of Biden's campaign. Let's just say that his collapse was too drastic. Then Clinton would just jump in. It's not going to be, by the way, people are talking about Andrew Cuomo. Each time somebody jumps in, Andrew Cuomo, I did a segment earlier today. Check it out. Andrew Cuomo in January of 2020, just a couple of months ago, in January, ladies and gentlemen, did not mention anything to do with ventilators or masks or anything. He mentioned nothing about that. Absolutely nothing. He mentioned nothing about masks or ventilators. He basically, the state, we'll read that. The state of the state. Check this out. So they're not going to go with Andrew Cuomo. They're not going to go with Andrew. America was never great. America was never great. They're not going to go with America was never great, Andrew Cuomo. That's not going to happen. That's not going to happen. But here you have, this is a segment I did. Andrew Cuomo demands Trump give $11 billion more to New York after governor ignored crisis. The governor did ignore the crisis. And if you look, you can just read Governor Cuomo outlines 2020 agenda, making progress happen, January 8th, 2020. Okay, this is January. So they're saying, well, Trump should have known this. He's not the governor of New York. He's the president of the United States of America. He has 50 states to look after. 50 states. There's not one mention in Governor Cuomo's 2020 agenda, making progress happen, 2020 State of the State. In his speech and in this summary, this long summary, there's not one mention. Let's look at a word search. Wentilators, no. Masks, no. The only word mask is unmask and fight back against bad actors and egregious practices of spoofing and robocalling. You want to know what he talked about? It had nothing to do. By the way, in terms of, it had absolutely nothing to do. Healthcare is only mentioned 7 times, and its comprehensive plan to address maternal mortality, requiring uniform, high-quality care. For survivors. Legalizing. Here we have so here we go. Ensuring access of affordable health care. Nothing to do with foreshadowing or, kind of preparing the state for the future crisis. Nothing. Do you want to know what he did talk about a lot? Climate change. We can go through each one of the bullet points here. 2020 Making Progress Happen highlights creating $3 billion Restore Mother Nature Bond Act, establishing paid sick leave, lowering tax rates for small businesses, continuing middle-class tax cuts. Let's see, protecting gig economy workers, fighting childhood poverty, and paddling Blue Ribbon Task Force to expand electric vehicles, ensuring cellular coverage across New York. Expand. How do you not have cellular coverage across New York? Expanding free college tuition to more middle-class families. Is there anything here about ventilators or masks or emergency responses? No. Increasing and modernizing. Okay. Adding e pluribus unum to the state seal. He talks about emergency response, but in the context of flooding. Over 60% of New York counties have been flooded twice in the past 10 years. We must be ready to handle these increasingly threatening situations. Hello? This has nothing to do. He's talking about the flooding. He was totally caught off guard with all of this. And this was just 2 months ago. Now he's like America's governor. For what? This is the state of the state. He made zero mention of any masks, ventilators, this biological situation that we face. Nothing. Not one mention. Not one mention, ladies and gentlemen. This is just January, the beginning of January 2020. This is Andrew Cuomo streamlining and simplifying New York's court systems, building the Empire Station Complex, reimagining the Erie Canal, growing New York's green economy, expanding the electric vehicle industry in New York, electrify upstate transit system, build a robust network of EV chargers throughout New York, invest $100 million in green bank financing. What? To attract electric vehicle manufacturers and other related businesses. You didn't want to address $100 million in the crisis you were about to face in 2 months, buddy? America was never great. The New York Green Bank will make $100 million in financing available to help clean transportation business. What? That you couldn't spend that money? You couldn't invest $100 million in the ventilators and masks that you claim that Trump should have given you? These people were completely caught off guard, and then they blame Trump. Completely caught off guard, and they were in charge of sounding the alarms. It was in this case, it was his state. Out of nowhere! Hello, AJ, been a fan for a while. Thank you for the late night streams. I ask everyone to stay safe and make healthy choices. God bless the USA. Alan, thank you so very much. God bless you. And thank you, Alan. Thank you very, very, very much. Thanks for watching for so long. Thank you, Alan. Greatly appreciated. So, ladies and gentlemen, Alan, thank you again. Ladies and gentlemen, is there anything here? Is there anything here aside from a lot of money for an issue that has nothing to do with what New York is facing now? Retrofitting homes and businesses to lower carbon emissions. Okay, strengthening a New York position as the hub of U.S. offshore wind industry. Protecting the health of Lake George's waters. Increasing solar, onshore wind, and storage capacity by more than 1,000 megawatts. All of this relies on fossil fuels anyway. What do you think the electricity... There's no, he doesn't understand the correlation between fossil fuels and the electric grid. But anyway, that's fine. We'll make a competitive awards to 21 large-scale solar, wind, and energy storage projects across upstate New York. These efforts will spur a $2.5 billion in private sector investment towards the development. He's talking about $2.5 billion for solar energy and wind energy, and he hasn't even mentioned 1 cent. 1 cent for the ventilators that he wants now. Jonathan Perez. Seattle here, your opinion on the Trump Inslee dynamic. Let's see. Jonathan Perez, thank you for watching. I think that, let's see. Trump says, oh my God. It's always something. I'll just read you here. Read you this, ladies and gentlemen. Trump says call with governor. Governor said no contention. Reports say otherwise. During the White House Thursday task force briefing, President Trump boasted about a terrific meeting he had with state governors about coordinating a response. We had a terrific meeting. According to multiple reports, trauma freeze is not apt summary. Washington Governor Jay Inslee urged Trump to use his authority to mandate the production. Okay, don't you love that? Like they want. Okay, which is fine. The action is something the president can do under the Defense Production Act. In response, Trump said the federal government serves as the backup. The comment apparently set off Inslee. I don't want to be the backup quarterback. We need you to be Tom Brady here. Yeah. Okay. So then, let's see. You could just look up. Did he talk about this in January? So Jonathan Perez, let's look at what the Governor Inslee talked about in January. Fonzarelli, I don't know, HA, when the runs, what's next? The play, the Tsetse fly, the potato. Fonzarelli! No, it's the Clinton campaign. I think that's the next sign of the apocalypse. Fonzarelli! Thank you so very much. So, Jonathan, let's see here. Okay. January 2020. Here, 2020 State of the State Address. We can go. Governor Jay Inslee. Okay. Is there any mention here? Of... Not one mention. Not one mention of ventilator. Not one mention of mask. Neither. So, Jonathan Perez, great. Jonathan Perez. Here is the state of the state for Washington. From Washington's governor. See if anybody could find anything. So he's the big man, Washington's governor, but he doesn't. The state of the state addresses, like the State of the Union, they have the State of the State. These governors are all on record. He ends this with the science is okay. So. Quickly, that's why we need to fight children's future. This will take many tools and efforts. They're talking about climate change, of course. The whole thing was focused on climate change and energy. The whole thing is focused on climate change and energy. Establishing a clean fuel standard, that was a big thing he wanted to do. We aren't only a task, we also need to make sure more children get early learning opportunities, address diversity and equity, especially in the workplace, pass common sense. Okay, all right. Continue to make investments in K through 12, protect our kids from tobacco. Okay. Well, I mean, it's like, this is like 1980s stuff. Help foster care children earlier and more frequently. Nothing about today's crisis. Nothing. They were completely caught off guard and blindsided. Completely. Utterly and completely. So, out of nowhere, Well, my first was to go to protect my family. Ruger Security 9. I was on a budget. Do you have any opinions on? Alan, I don't have. I don't usually. I don't really like the 9. I like 45. That's where I kind of go towards. But it really depends on what suits your. It depends on what suits your needs. Glock 17 is a good one, but it just depends on it depends on your needs, your requirements. So but excellent, yeah. It really depends on what you feel comfortable with. It all depends on what you feel comfortable with. So, thank you so very much, Alan Nowhere. Thank you. Alan Nowhere, thank you. You look at all these governors, and none of them knew anything about what was going on. None of them. None of them had any idea. So you can look at none of them had any idea. You can look at the state of the state for all of these you could look at the state of the state for all of these governors. None of them. And President Trump should simply look and kind of, he should tweet out all the state of the states. He should tweet out really all the state of the states for all the governors. Trump says Commonwealth governors had no contention. Report says otherwise. So these governors are upset. These governors are upset because they lacked the preparedness, the wherewithal, the foresight. They lacked the ability to look into the future 2 months. And they're the ones who are supposed to, if they don't have enough of anything, whether it's ventilators or masks for their citizens, they're the ones. Then Trump confirms reports Jay Inslee invoked Tom Brady in his plea for, he should have been Tom Brady. The governor of Washington should have been Tom Brady in January or February. Instead, he was talking about electric vehicles and climate change. They're always caught. They're always caught. And when they're caught, they just blame Trump. Ebenezer Adams, the vile wrath haunts my thoughts because I know she will be back. Like Ebenezer, no, this is the best thing ever. Ebenezer Adams, this is the best thing ever. It's the best thing ever. You have to. It's the best thing ever. You have to, this is the thing, ladies and gentlemen. You have to, everybody watching this channel, I know it sounds bizarre. The best thing that could ever happen to President Trump the best thing that could ever happen to the country, to our lives, is Hillary Clinton running again, which she will, becoming nominee. And what do you think is going to happen? If it's Clinton versus Trump again, Clinton will lose again. But they're going to give it everything they have, ladies and gentlemen. It's like this. Here, it's like this. It's like this. Let's say the Falcons get back to the Super Bowl again, and Brady never left New England. Okay, let's just say that it was, let's say New England kept his payroll, and Brady was still there, but the Atlanta Falcons said, you know what? We're going to get the best team possible, and we're going to double our payroll, and we're going to get every free agent we can, and we're going to, in fact, what we're going to do is we're going to spend so much money that we won't have money for the next season, actually. We will not have money to pay any of our starters for the next season because we will have spent so much money. Let's say there was no cap or whatever. Okay. So they go into the season, they get to the Super Bowl, and they've put all their eggs in just one basket. They've gone all out. They've overextended themselves, over-leveraged themselves, and it's just the same. It's the Falcons, but they're new and improved, and they're like the best team. They're like an all-star team, and they go up against the Patriots, and guess what do you think's going to happen? Patriots will still defeat them. Well, I don't know, but let's just say in this scenario, the Patriots defeat them again. That's what's taking place. That's what's taking place, ladies and gentlemen. The Democratic Party doesn't have anything else but Clinton. She's the only chance they have. She's the only chance they have. Democrats, it's interesting too because the paradigm that they live by is kind of hilarious. Like it's kind of not hilarious, but it's kind of like a lot of what happens is it starts in media. It starts in media. Oh, nice. WHO chief praises Trump's leadership. Nice. Nice. That's along with four polls. Okay, hold on. Praises Trump. Nice. Okay, so nice. World Health Organization praises President Trump's leadership. So that's interesting. That's interesting. You look, ladies and gentlemen, and it's like, Teresa King! What happens to those politicians that dump stock right before news broke? Okay, Feinstein. I don't know. I mean, there might be investigations, there might not. They get away with so much, it's unbelievable. That was totally, not just like an easy crime to prove. I mean, for them it would be because it was right after a classified briefing. It was right after a classified briefing. So, you cannot sell stocks right after a classified briefing. So let's see. Wow, the Dow went up again. Dow Jones up again. 1,000 points. Wow. Dow exits bear market, adds 1,351 points. Wowzers. The Dow is up again. It's added 4,000 points. Oh my God. It's added 4,000 points, 3,960 points in 3 days. Oh my God. The Dow added 4,000 points in 3 days. What did I say? I said that it's going to go back up almost as fast as it went down. It might even be faster. And then it'll go down tomorrow and back up and down. Chaz Tasso, thank you. HA, love the show. First time I've been able to catch it live. Keep up the good work, Bill Clinton voice. Let me make it rain a little bit. Oh my goodness, Chaz, thank you. Thank you very much. I appreciate you watching. Teresa King, I appreciate you. Chaz Tasso, I appreciate you. Thank you very, very much for your kindness and support. And ladies and gentlemen, when my wife runs, yet again, she becomes the nominee. I don't care if she runs through the glass doors of the Democratic convention, whatever. She'll be nominee, just like H.A. Badman said. Chaz Tasso, thank you. Thank you very much. Chaz Tasso, thank you very much. Greatly appreciated. Greatly, greatly appreciated. Chaz Tasso, thank you. 4,000 points. Oh my God. Oh my God. That's just unbelievable. That's the way it is when you look at this day and age. It could go down 10,000 points in 3 weeks and 4,000 points in 3 days, which is what happened. It went down 10,000 plus, almost 11,000 in 3 weeks. Goes up 4,000 points in 3 days. Unbelievable. I mean, really, really just like unbelievable. Do you want to know how good it'll feel when Clinton becomes nominee? Oh my God, it's going to be amazing. They're not going to go with Biden. With everything going on. Oh my God, can you imagine? Chaz Tasso, thank you. Hey man, come on man. Teresa King, thank you. Chaz, thank you. Come on man. Come on people now. Smell on your brother. Come on now. Hey man. Did you know the deal? It's like, what? What are you talking about? The thing, man, the thing. It's like speaking to the cast of Easy Rider. It's like speaking, like Biden is like Dennis Hopper without any of the charm or charisma, and just when he's like playing a character. You know the deal, man. And you know the deal, man. What? What do you mean you know the... What deal? What deal are you talking about? You know the deal. Do I have to explain the deal to you? Yeah, explain. We don't know what you're talking about. What are you talking about? Hey, smile, man. Come on. Hey, I'm taking your AM, PM 13s. Okay, you don't need 10,000 anti-tank rounds. Come on now, man. Come on, man. Hey, smile. The cure is the cure. Boys, don't cry. The cure. Come on now. So if you look and if you look at Biden, it's really it's not only sad, it's sad because I don't believe that he's really that inept. It's pathetic because you look at somebody who Papa D, I am Groot. Papa D. You look at somebody that it's like, why is he's going all out? He has to be just horrendous enough to not get anywhere near Trump, but just viable enough to defeat Bernie. Which, by the way, anything that he does is enough to defeat Bernie. Bernie Sanders is there to funnel votes back into the Democratic Party. He has no intention really of winning. Maybe like 2% chance in his head. He's like, oh, maybe, possibly. But okay, let's see. You know the deal, man. Come on now, man. You know the deal. 4,000 points. The Dow, which would begin a new bull market Thursday, gained 3,962 points over the last 3 days trading. My God. My God. And it could go down tomorrow and then go up again 1,000 points. And it'll be like 6 days or 5 days. It'll go up 5,000 points in 5 days or so. Who knows? Who knows? And then it'll go down. The whole thing's kind of a racket anyway. If you put money in the market, you gotta like invest long term, and in companies that give a dividend. Whatever, depending on whatever works for you. But I mean, 4,000 points in 4 days. My God, my God. And then when the country starts working again, okay, when the country starts working again, there's a thing here like how to build a $500 home gym on Amazon, but Amazon's not selling any weights. It's like there's no weights. Luckily, I have weights, like dumbbells, 50-pound dumbbells, and so that's good. But it's not the same as the gym. It is not the same as the gym, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so very much. I want to just thank you. I'm running out of steam right now. Jimbo! Biden's performance is just a warm-up for his appearance in front of the Senate committee. Bruce, my man, you know the deal. Ukraine, and you know the deal. Jimbo, thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Jimbo. Chaz Tasso, thank you. Chaz Tasso, thank you. Jimbo, thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, God bless. Everything's going to be... Look, everyone watching here is going to be here in November. We're going to have the most epic time. Trump's re-election is going to be a catharsis for everyone, ladies and gentlemen. 4 years. 4 years of nonsense. They're not... What are they going to be... What are they going to do? I mean, 4 years of just... just utter nonsense. And they're going to have to accept the fact that they're going to go 8 years total with the president that we want, ladies and gentlemen, not the president they want, with the direction that we want, bringing home Americans from never-ending conflict. Give me your thoughts below, people. Thank you so very much. I'll see you tomorrow. I might do an upload on this channel. Actually, I'll probably do one early tomorrow morning. And so if you're up early tomorrow, any time zone, just check this channel. And ladies and gentlemen, thank you. God bless. To my super chat, thank you. And I'll see you tomorrow, everybody. Thanks again. Oh, check out H.A. Goodman's other channel.